This episode of Dissect is presented by Amazon Prime. The holidays hit fast. One moment you're planning, the next, everything's out of sync. Luckily, Prime helps you catch the rhythm with fast, free delivery that gets it there just in time. Prime's fast shipping is always there for you during the holidays, especially when it's last minute and it just can't wait. Hosting essentials or the gift that hits the right note, it's on Prime. Head to amazon.com/prime to shop now. Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clipse is Dissect's best rap album of 2025, and to celebrate this near-perfect project, I'm breaking down 10 of its most impressive and complex lyrical passages, beginning with Pusha T's opening 4 lines on So Be It.
I can show you how to bust a brick if you let me. I'm monogram like confetti. Switch is ready. She leaning on Celine cause she ain't stepping in Giuseppe. Catch up.
Push begins spelling out Clipse's name, C-L-I-P-S-E, then adds et P, French for and P, as in the album's producer, Pharrell. Using French nods to the fact the song and album was recorded at Louis Vuitton's headquarters in France. But et P is also a homophone for epi, Louis Vuitton's signature epi leather, used on jackets currently designed under Pharrell's creative direction. This leads into 8-ball LV. Given the epi leather reference, Push here is invoking the iconic 8-ball leather jackets popular in early 90s hip-hop. At the same time, 8-ball is slang for 1/8 of an ounce of cocaine, setting up the next line, I can show you how to bust a brick if you let me. A brick is a kilo of cocaine, and busting it down means breaking it into smaller units like 8 balls. I monogram like confetti, switch is ready, continues both motifs and adds a third. On one level, he's referencing Louis Vuitton's famous monogram print, scattered like confetti. But monogram also contains the word gram, a smaller measurement of cocaine that resembles confetti when scattered. Finally, switch is ready adds the third layer, as switches turn Glocks into fully automatic weapons, making their rapid fire resemble confetti. This kind of elite, sustained wordplay is commonplace for Clipse, like when Malice weaves in movie references throughout his standout verse on track 5, Ace Trumpets.
Over $500,000 we call for Kasha, reaching for Akasha, never leaving home without my peace like I'm Mahatma. From the tribe of Judah, I'm Mufasa, never turn the other cheek, you'll die at the Oscars.
Malice raps over $500,000 we call Fakasha, reaching for Akasha. Anything above $500,000 is considered bread, implying that anything less is chump change. Akasha comes from the Sanskrit word for sky, so Malice is stretching his money sky high. In Hinduism, Akasha is considered the 5th element, an all-encompassing medium that connects all things in the universe. Malice plays on this Hindu connection in the next line, never leaving home without my peace like I'm Mahatma. Mahatma Gandhi was a Hindu who championed peace, but Malice's peace is the opposite of Gandhi's. It's his P-I-E-C-E, his firearm. The religious motif continues, from the tribe of Judah, I'm Mufasa. One of the 12 tribes of Israel, the tribe of Judah is traditionally symbolized by a lion, hence Malice's comparison to Mufasa, the Lion King. In Revelation, Jesus was named the Lion of Judah, and Jesus preached nonviolence like Gandhi. Hence, we get the next line, never turn the other cheek, you'll die at the Oscars. Like his previous peace entendre, Malice subverts Jesus' famous teaching of peacefully turning the other cheek while evoking Will Smith's infamous slap across Chris Rock's cheek at the Oscars. Malice is saying if you were to harm him, he's not turning the other cheek, he's going to end you. And if that wordplay isn't impressive enough on its own, notice how Oscars contains the word Scar, Mufasa's evil brother in The Lion King. This movie motif then extends into the next sequence.
Dressed in house of Gucci, made from selling Lady Gaga. Hakuna Matata, island wearing tie-dye. Umbrella in my rolls, match the one that's in this my tie. Listen,
Malice raps, dressed in house of Gucci, made from selling Lady Gaga. Malice is outfitted in Gucci, which he can afford from selling Lady Gaga, slang for cocaine. But House of Gucci is also the title of a 2021 film starring Lady Gaga. The next line, Hakuna Matata, island wearing tie-dye, quotes the famous Lion King song that means no worries, calling back to the previous Mufasa and Scar references. Tie-dyed shirts are associated with peace, love, and a carefree attitude, so the image here is Malice vacationing on a luxurious island somewhere, free of worries. This extends into umbrella in my rolls match the one that's in this Mai Tai. A Mai Tai is a cocktail associated with tropical vacations and garnished with a decorative umbrella, which Malice compares to the customary umbrellas that come standard in Rolls-Royce luxury cars. Now for our next selection, we're going to stay with Ace Trumpets, as Pusha T's verse is just as impressive as Malice's.
White glove service with the brick, I am Luigi. Sold ecstasy and disappeared, I am Houdini. Look at them, him and him, still waiting on Yeezy. I hope you got your squeegees. Had your interviews, I just kiki. Life's peachy, ASAP with Riri. You rappers all beneath me, but love like the Bee Gees. International flights connect me to the Wi-Fi. The only way you reach me,
Push raps white glove service with the brick, I am Luigi. White glove service refers to the careful handling of luxury goods, here applied to Push's high-quality bricks of cocaine. The phrase also nods to the white latex gloves used when handling those bricks. In the Nintendo Mario Bros. Games, Luigi wears white gloves, smashes bricks, and is Mario's younger brother, just like Push is Malice's younger brother. The next line, sold ecstasy and disappeared, I am Houdini, continues the layered references. Push sells drugs and vanishes, keeping a low profile to avoid arrests, a disappearing act he compares to magician Harry Houdini. But this is also a play on the 80s hip-hop group Houdini, who uncoincidentally had a member named Ecstasy. Houdini's biggest hit song was Friends, a track about the struggle to find genuine relationships. This sets up the next line, look at him and him, still waiting on Yeezy. I hope you got your squeegees. Once friends and collaborators, Push and Kanye West had a falling out. Here, Push is calling Kanye washed up, telling the stans still waiting on his return to form to have their squeegees ready, a play on soap suds and being washed. At your interviews, I just kiki describes Push laughing at Kanye's recent public insults towards him, most recently in Ye's interview with DJ Academics. Kiki is also the nickname of Ye's ex-wife, Kim Kardashian. This marriage motif then extends into the next line, life's peachy, ASAP with Riri. You rappers all beneath me. Push isn't stressing about his fallout with Ye. His life is as merry as A$AP Rocky and Rihanna's relationship. Rihanna's global stature and wealth overshadow rapper A$AP Rocky, which Push plays with to frame himself as being above his competition, saying, you rappers all beneath me, but loved like the Bee Gees. Push gets love from rappers like the popular 70s band the Bee Gees, who made many love songs and were composed of brothers, just like Push and Malice. But BG is also an abbreviation for Baby Gangsta, reinforcing the idea that rappers are beneath Push, a seasoned OG. The final line, international flights connect me to the Wi-Fi, the only way you reach me, extends the motif. Push is literally above others while flying high on private jets overseas. Cleverly, Push pronounces Wi-Fi the way many European countries do, including France where the album was recorded, playing into international flights. Malice makes similar claims of superiority in my next selection, which comes off one of my personal favorite songs on the album, Mike Tyson, Blow to the Face.
You niggas is screenwriters, we dream writers. Took chains and touched change like King Midas. Imitation is flattery, they seem like us, but only 300 bricks can make you Leonidas. My old plug asked the new plug to reunite us. D-class in my ears, now let me see you bite it. She want Mike Tyson, blow to the face. I'm talking 96 Hove with the bass.
Malice raps, you N-words as screenwriters, we dream writers. Took chains and touched change like King Midas. While his competition fabricates fiction, emulating what they see in movies, Malice writes from his lived experience, a true rags to riches story, a dream realized. In this sense, he's King Midas, the figure from Greek mythology who turned everything he touched into gold. He continues, only 300 bricks can make you Leonidas. Leonidas was the Spartan king who led 300 warriors against the Persian army, which was dramatized in the 2006 film 300. Notice the motifs Malice is developing here. King Midas and King Leonidas are both Greek kings, while the film 300 extends the screenwriter reference. But the line also carries a third layer. 300 bricks refers to massive quantities of cocaine, while Leonidas doubles as a nod to Colombian drug lord Leonidas Vargas, known as the King of Caqueta. Like Midas and Leonidas, Vargas too was a king. Malice then continues, D-class in my ears, now let me see you bite it. Class D diamonds are the rarest and purest, something Malice's imitators couldn't bite or copy because of their expensive price tag. But ears and biting also sets up the verse's final lines. She want Mike Tyson blow to the face, I'm talking 96 Hove with the bass. Mike Tyson infamously bit the ear of Evander Holyfield in 1997, just 1 year after Jay-Z, aka Hove, dropped his debut project Reasonable Doubt in 96. Cleverly, both blow and bass in this couplet serve as a cocaine double entendre. Blow to the face is both a Mike Tyson punch and a snort of coke, with the added layer being Tyson was a cocaine user for much of his life. Meanwhile, Hove with the bass is both Jay-Z's bass-heavy music, as well as slang for crack cocaine, a nod to Jay's own past as a drug dealer. Paying homage to hip-hop legends is a consistent motif on Let God Sort 'Em Out, like when Pusha T shouts out Wu-Tang's Ghostface Killah on track 3, P.O.V.
Yeah, sand color Rolls Royce, we like Saudis here. The only Audi here is driven by my owl pair. Ghostface with the wrist, bird falconer. Willie Falcone, trunk full of talcum here. Shotgun with your ex feels like Malcolm's near. Send a hit through.
Push raps sand-colored Rolls Royce, we like Saudis here. He's playing on the fact that Saudi Arabia is 95% desert sand, the same color as his tan Rolls Royce. Push wouldn't be caught in anything less, especially not an Audi, which is actually considered a luxury car, just not as luxury as Rolls Royce. Hence we get the line, the only Audi here is driven by my au pair, meaning that not only is he rich enough to have an au pair or full-time caregiver, but he can also afford to give them an Audi, an expensive car by most anyone's standards. He continues, Ghostface with the wrist, bird falconer. Falconer here is a triple entendre. First, the entire line cites Ghostface Killah's infamous golden eagle cuff, a gigantic gold bracelet featuring a landing eagle that sits on Ghost's wrist. A falconer is someone who trains and hunts birds of prey, and Push flips this to refer to the slang use of bird, which is a kilo of coke. Falconer is also a play on millionaire, and Ghostface with the wrist is a reference to cooking crack. So Push is claiming to be a bird falconer, someone who's made millions via drugs. The final layer continues the previous Saudi Arabia reference, as falcons are a status symbol there and incredibly popular among Saudi royalty. The next line, Willie Falcone, trunk full of talcum here, refers to Augusto Willie Falcon, a former drug kingpin that operated one of the largest cocaine trafficking organizations in South Florida history. Talcum powder resembles cocaine and is sometimes used as a cutting agent, so Push is obviously referring to trunks full of coke. A trunk also continues the vehicle motif from Rolls-Royce and Audi, which then continues with shotgun with your ex, feel like Malcolm's near. Push claims to have your ex-girlfriend riding shotgun in his Rolls Royce, but the wordplay centers around the famous 1964 photo of Malcolm X holding a large gun looking out a window, hence shotgun with your ex. Now the Saudi Arabia motif in this passage makes a perfect segue to my next selection. At some point in this video, I had to honor Pharrell's incredible production on this project, and one of the album's standout beats is built around samples of a Saudi artist.
So be it, so be it. Smoke. So be it, so be it.
You ain't solid, ain't valid, you ain't Malice. Been quiet, ain't riot, you ain't Paris. Blow money.
So Be It samples Saudi Arabian artist Talal Madeh and his 1979 song Maza Akulu, a track Pharrell discovered when fellow producer Swizz Beatz posted it to his Instagram. The majority of the sample comes from this passage of the song. So Be It's verses alternate between a slowed and slightly chopped version of this Ganoon flourish and the vocal passage that follows it. Meanwhile, So Be It's chorus uses the riff we heard at the beginning of the sampled passage. Clipse and Pharrell originally had issues clearing these samples, so as some of you might remember, the album version of So Be It was changed to a sample-free instrumental on release day.
So be it, CLIP, SEFB, A-Ball LV. I could show you how to bust a brick if you let me. I monogram like confetti, switch is ready. She leaning on Celine cause she ain't stepping in Giuseppe. Catch up.
We have Swizz Beatz to thank for getting the original sample cleared. When he heard the alternate version of So Be It on release day, he immediately called Clipse's manager to ask about the clearance issue. As it just so happened, Swizz was already on his way to Saudi Arabia, where he has deep ties and runs his own creative company. He promised he'd handle it personally, and within a half an hour, the sample was cleared, and the original, and in my opinion, much better version of So Be It was restored. Now, another of my favorite beats on Let God Sort 'Em Out is Chains and Whips, which also contains what I believe is the best hook on the entire album.
Uncle said, nigga, you must be sick. All you talk about is just get rich. Choke my neck, nigga, and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains and whips.
The chorus begins, "Uncle said, N-word, you must be sick. All you talk about is just getting rich." The uncle here is a personification of America, Uncle Sam, who criticizes the Black American art form hip-hop as being one-dimensionally obsessed with wealth. The irony of his statement is obvious. America itself has been obsessed with accumulating wealth by any means necessary, including centuries of enslaving kidnapped Africans. The uncle's use of the N-word alludes to this history, setting up the central play of Push's response. "Choke my neck, N-word, and ice my bitch. Beat the system with chains and whips." The entire couplet is centered in subversion. "Choke my neck" takes an allusion to lynching and flips it into a diamond choker necklace. "Ice my bitch" extends the motif. Rather than the expected "choke my bitch," Push adorns his partner in diamonds too. "Beat the system with chains and whips" sustains the subversion. Chains and whips were torture devices once used on the enslaved, flipped here to reference jewelry and cars. This same idea is present in Push's use of the N-word as a direct response to Uncle Sam using it as a slur, symbolizing the way Black Americans have reclaimed ownership of a word once used to inflict hurt, just like the chains and whips. And so where Uncle Sam tried to paint Push's obsession with wealth as a negative, Push proves how Black excellence and wealth is actually a form of resistance, a way to beat the system that's been set up for Black failure from the start. Now, another standout hook on Let God Sort 'Em Out comes on the song FICO, where Griselda Records artist Stove God Cooks delivers one of the best features on the album.
You ain't been where I go. With a fetty so strong, you gotta bag it with one eye closed. My shooter turn you inside out. I heard the feds turned the crib inside out. Drop the roof on you niggas, let the inside out. Fresh Prince jacket, boy, I cook 'em to the inside out. Go get a Glock.
Stove God sings, "You ain't been where I go. With a fetty so strong, you gotta bag it with one eye closed." He's saying the fetty or fentanyl he's bagging is so potent it'll make you involuntarily wince. But fetty and eye closed is a play on rapper Fetty Wap, who is missing one eye, so it looks like he always has one eye closed. Fetty is also currently serving prison time for drug trafficking, including fentanyl. The closing line of the hook is just as clever. "Fresh Prince jacket, boy, I cook 'em till they inside out." Stove claims to shoot his enemies so many times their insides spill out, drawing on Will Smith's character in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who famously wore his private school suit jacket inside out to make it more fashionable. Alongside its chorus, FICO delivers two of the album's most virtuosic verses, with both Push and Malice rapping in the same complex two-bar double rhyme scheme.
I remember late nights, pissy hallways driving me psycho. The money wouldn't come fast enough. We was back and forth down streamline, moving weight was like lipo. The rest of y'all stuck in the rut. Niggas double cross.
Alright, so let's break down this rhyme scheme. Push begins, "I remember late nights, pissy hallways driving me psycho. The money wouldn't come fast enough." Psycho and enough are the rhyme words, which get paid off in the following couplet. "We was back and forth, down streamline, moving weight was like lipo. The rest of y'all stuck in a rut." Lipo here rhymes with psycho, while enough rhymes with rut. The scheme is notable not only for the two-syllable internal and two-syllable external rhymes, but also for its unique structure. The first bar of each couplet is wordy and sprawling, while the second bar is sparse and punchy. That contrast, paired with the double rhyme scheme, is what gives this song such a unique feeling, and both Push and Malice sustain this same scheme for the entirety of their respective verses.
I would have them take a number like DMV, that was the baseline. Check out on register 1. Miami niggas like Big Perm, cause they numbers was phase on. Cuban showed me nothing but love.
Malice's adoption of the double rhyme scheme centers on the two-syllable internal baseline and phase on, and the external single-syllable love and one. He describes having to create a transaction system like the DMV to meet the demands for his product, with baseline being a clever way to describe a long line of customers waiting to buy his base or crack cocaine. He then references the classic movie Friday, which features drug kingpin Big Perm played by actor Faison Love. Miami N-words like Big Perm because they numbers was Faison plays on the fact that Faison is heavy set, meaning Malice's drug connections in Miami were moving heavy weight. This leads into Cubans showed me nothing but love. Malice implies his Miami connects were Cuban who showed him love or gave him a good deal. But love is also a play on Faison's last name, Love, who uncoincidentally is Cuban American. Cuban is also a homophone for Cupid, the god of love. And if that isn't enough wordplay, Malice is very likely alluding to A.Z. Faison here as well, a famous cocaine dealer in the 80s who became the subject of the 2002 film Paid in Full. Now, on top of the elite wordplay and double rhyme scheme, there's also another incredible detail in Malice's FICO verse, which has to do with all the numbers he incorporates throughout it and what happens when you add them all up. I actually broke this down in a recent episode called The Most Genius Number Schemes in Rap History, which I'd recommend checking out if you're interested in that breakdown and a ton of other mind-blowing number bars. But for the penultimate breakdown in this episode, I want to highlight another even more complex double rhyme scheme in Malice's verse on So Far Ahead.
Niggas tried to sneeze at the blessing. How could I just leave was the question. Whistleblowers left me no choice. Ain't no referees up in heaven. No mistaking me for the reverend. Usher in the money, my confession. How your pastor whip a Rolls Royce. That was me pre 9/11.
Let's use Malice's opening 4 bars to lay out this scheme. He begins, N-words tried to sneeze at the blessing. How could I just leave was the question. The primary outer rhyme is firmly established with blessin' and question. The third bar pivots away from this as he says, whistleblowers left me no choice. However, no choice is being set up as a secondary end rhyme, which isn't paid off immediately. Instead, the fourth bar returns to the primary end rhyme, ain't no referees up in heaven. Heaven here rhymes with blessin' and question. And so we have 4 total lines with the first, second, and fourth using a primary rhyme and the third line using a secondary rhyme. The next set of 4 bars uses the same structure. The first 2 bars continue the primary heaven rhyme, no mistaking me for the reverend, ushering the money, my confession. The third line, how your pastor whip a Rolls Royce, finally pays off the secondary rhyme as Rolls Royce rhymes with the previous no choice. The fourth bar then returns to the primary heaven rhyme. That was me pre 9/11. It's an incredibly impressive scheme that sustains the entire verse. And despite the structural complexity, Malice doesn't sacrifice his wordplay. For instance, no mistaking me for the reverend, ushering the money, my confession. In his personal genius annotation, Malice confirmed this as a triple entendre. The central meaning is that Malice, despite being a devout man of God, isn't overly pious like a reverend and still appreciates ushering in pockets full of money. A church usher is also the one who collects the weekly cash offerings from the congregation. Finally, the line is a play on the R&B artist Usher and his most popular album, Confessions. Now for our 10th and final selection, I want to switch things up a little. Because as much as I love Clipse's luxury coke raps, part of what makes God Sort 'Em Out so special is the maturity and perspective both Push and Malice exhibit throughout the project. This is most evident on the opening track, Birds Don't Sing. Known historically for using birds as slang for kilos of cocaine, the duo subverts expectations by turning the phrase into a heartfelt tribute to their mother and father, who passed away just 4 months apart. Push's verse focuses on their mother, while Malice's centers their father, including these incredibly moving final 4 lines.
Birds don't sing if the words don't sting. Your last few words in my ears still ring. You told me that you love me, it was all in your tone. I love my 2 sons was the code to your phone, now you home.
Malice recounts that the last words he heard from his father were, I love you. Then, after his father's death, he discovered that all of his father's online passwords were, I love my 2 sons. It's a profoundly intimate detail that shows that his father's love was embedded into every facet of his life. For Malice, discovering this had to be deeply moving, a reminder that his father carried that love and devotion with him everywhere, even in spaces no one else was meant to see. Touching moments like this reminds us why Clipse stand apart as writers. On Let God Sort 'Em Out, they can prove they can do more than craft clever bars about drugs and luxury. They can also deliver passages that are deeply personal and profoundly human. That range, from cocaine entendres to moving reflections on family and loss, is what makes Clipse not just great rappers, but great writers. And it's also why Let God Sort 'Em Out is Dissect's 2025 Rap Album of the Year. This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. The holidays move fast, so stay in sync with Prime's fast, free delivery. Admittedly, I sometimes wait to the last minute to buy my gifts, and I've been saved by Prime more than a few times. That's because Prime's fast shipping is always there for you during the holidays, especially when it's last minute and can't wait. Need that final gift or holiday essential in a flash? It's on Prime. Head to amazon.com/prime to shop now.